Hey everybody, sorry to cut that short. We have some breaking news that we wanted to address. First of all, you may have heard that we were recently purchased by Downtown Music Holdings. While we were initially excited about this, we do have some bad news. In order to keep this all straight, we've prepared a statement that Rebecca and I are gonna let you guys know about. News came in this morning that Pony was fired from Soundrop.
We've been doing some digging, and we found out the reasons why he was terminated, so we're going to read a prepared statement because we think we owe it to you as our customers to know why he was terminated. So the first was his unsuccessful rebranding of the Soundrop Twitter handle to Pony's Wrestling Minute.
He also attempted some weird beverage experiments in the break room that have been putting people on edge, including but not limited to ranch with sparkling water, ranch with Sprite, and worst of all, microwaved ranch coffee. You can imagine the smell. HR gave him multiple written and verbal warnings about him asking coworkers if they want to take a shot at the champ. There were a number of unauthorized purchases via the credit card company, the company credit card, excuse me. This is just traumatic for all of us. There were a number of unauthorized purchases via the company credit card that became increasingly more and more erratic. First off, there was a jazz-themed Tommy the Tank Engine playset called the Coltrane Station. He somehow managed to find MIDI controllers big enough for his entire staircase that synchronized to the notes in the song Giant Steps, so that he could listen to Giant Steps while taking giant steps. Lastly, I don't even know how he acquired this, but he purchased a parcel of land on Rocky Butte, which is this place, this beautiful, majestic hill that we see out of our window every day. So not only did he get a parcel of land, he got 3 copies of Spungel's first album, Are You Spungled? Which I imagine is to listen to the song Divine Moments of Truth on repeat for all eternity. And lastly, a Joe Rogan branded sensory deprivation tank. He must be making some kind of fort out there.
The final straw was related to our fanny pack budget. As you know, with the purchase from Downtown Music Holdings, our fanny pack budget did double, but it has been uncovered that Pony had spent $1.5 million on fanny packs in a bizarre money laundering scheme.
In light of these events and his subsequent termination, Pony already has started a GoFundMe to help recoup some of the money spent by spearheading a new music festival called Fired Fest. And with that, I guess we'll start this live stream.
April Fool's.
Oh, hey,
guy.
what's up?
Hey.
Oh my God. What the hell is Sprungle?
Spungle?
Spungle.
It's psychedelic electronic music. I'll send it your way. You'll love it,
Spungle.
actually.
I'm gonna look it up right now.
Yeah, it's pretty radical.
Spungle.
Dude, it's just like...
Spungle.
Spungle's cool, but like, have you ever tried DMT?
I'm on DMT right now.
All right. On that note.
Oh, hey, Luke. All right.
How's everybody doing?
Hi, guys. Here we are pulling back the curtain on music distribution. One terrible joke at a time. Giant Steps. Oh, my God.
Did you like that one? So stupid.
My personal favorite was Fired Fest.
Oh, yeah. Fired Fest. Well, luckily nobody's watching this, or else it would be Fired Fest for me. All right, guys. Welcome to the Soundrop live stream. We are going to talk about a bunch of stuff today. First, let's get a few things out of the way. We finally got our Spotify profile.
Hell yeah, we did.
Yes, so now let the playlists begin.
We did.
You want to be on Soundrop Spotify playlists? What's the email address? It's like playlist@soundrop.com
It is
or
playlist@soundrop.com.
something very creative like that.
It goes to me. I'll listen to your music, and I am the decider.
I'm the decider. Rebecca's the decider. What are going to be the first playlists? We've got a couple on deck already, right?
Yeah.
Ready to
So
go out the door.
we've got 4 on deck right now. Well, technically 5, but one's already published. So the first one was our Soundrop favorite playlist of 2018. So that was the one that we did for YouTube Music. It's going on Spotify as well. And upcoming, we have launching in the next couple days, Anime Cover Central, video game music, energetic video game music, sorry, soothing soundtracks and laid-back favorites. So if you have anything that fits those,
Yeah, so
email playlist@soundrop.com.
playlist@soundrop.com. You can see what kind of vibe these things are going to have. The reason it's energetic video game music is because there's going to be so many video game music playlists that we had to figure out how to start segmenting them already. So we're starting with the energetic ones.
Right. What we're trying to do here is we're doing our basic genres that all of our artists love, and then we are going to start splitting them up into more specialized categories as we get more submissions. So the more unique your music, the more likely there's going to be a category just for you.
Yeah, and as somebody who already snuck a list into the Soothing Soundtracks playlist so far, it's excellent. It's a cool reminder of just the kind of loaded talent that Soundrop has in our artist space, and we can't wait to share this with you guys. It's gonna rule.
We're super thrilled. We're really excited for you to start submitting your music.
The Soothing Soundtracks one is like covers of music from movies.
It is from any soundtrack you can think of, and then
It's
eventually
soothing.
it's soothing.
Yeah,
Eventually
so video
that's
games,
going to split up.
Yeah,
right?
film,
Anime,
TV.
Anime.
everything. Yeah, so that's on deck, guys. And as Rusty mentioned, we have a new ownership, Downtown Music Holdings, which is awesome because that's an actual music company. Before, we were owned by a company that was owned by a company that was owned by like a venture capital firm, which was actually, those guys were really cool. But you know, they have to make a profit every few years, so it's like that. You know, the goal is always make
growth.
More money. Yeah, well, it's always growth, but it's stay profitable and reach a certain level of profitability. And it's hard to have those years where you just invest in order to grow bigger in the long term. So this is really exciting. Now we have more publishing expertise under the roof. We have all the other companies that we're affiliated with, like CD Baby and what's the
Song Trust is
Song
part of
Trust.
Downtown Music Publishing.
Song Trust, and then the MCN that's down in California. AdRev, yeah. So it's really a very cool development and means nothing but good things for all the Soundrop artists and employees, and it's probably mostly going to be invisible to you guys, but you will notice that we're probably going to be able to develop things faster, roll out more new features at a faster rate, because now we just have a company that's in it for the long haul.
Yeah.
So that's really exciting.
Yeah, I'd just like to mention that AdRev followed us on Twitter today.
Oh, hey,
So,
AdRev.
hi,
I'm sure
AdRev.
they're watching. Yeah, our buddies. And then another, I don't know if it's an exciting announcement.
I'm excited.
Oh.
Let's talk about it.
All right, let's talk about it. So we're going to start doing a monthly contest on every live stream. So basically, here's how it's going to work. Each month, we're going to make a new piece of wacky Soundrop swag. And we're going to unbox it on our live stream, and we will place a secret word somewhere in the live stream. If you DM us, not on Twitch, but like on Twitter or something, with that secret word, we'll send you whatever piece that we unboxed. Now we have to make some weird swag.
I
Clock's
can accomplish that.
I know you can. If you guys have any ideas for weird company branded crap that you've seen people make before at like conferences or conventions or something, let us know. We might do it.
Like flashing rings or something.
Yeah.
Just something like
But
that.
yeah, just something like that. Yeah, but not that, because we already have that.
Right.
And we'll include a flashing ring for the rest of 2019. We'll include a flashing ring with every prize that we send.
What's the story behind that, Pony?
The flashing rings,
Yeah, why can we send one with every prize?
because they made them wrong and then sent us extra. But even if they hadn't, I think we would do that. There's.
Oh no, we absolutely would.
Does that really come through on the? See, this is just one example of
It
the
might be
crap you
pink.
might get.
It might be clear.
Oh yeah, we have some pink ones and some clear ones. One thing that we probably won't be making, but I do enjoy, is this Body Back Buddy, which is this cool like body. Oh, sorry, I'm hitting the microphone. All right, no, I'm not going to show off the body back buddy here, but it is purple.
I will say that in the merchandise printing service that I use, they do have medical instruments.
What? Soundrop medical instruments.
Finally.
Does this count as a medical instrument?
Sure.
Yeah.
Can it be used internally?
Hold on.
Only by me, don't forget.
There's chapstick, emergency.
Yeah, thank you for bringing it back to...
But I digress.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right. Am I on the camera here? Okay.
All right.
So, yep, so now you're going to have to tune into these streams so you can hear the secret word so you can get your free crap.
Are we starting that today? No. Are we starting that next month?
No, I didn't think of it early enough to actually make new crap.
Okay.
I guess I could send somebody the body back buddy. Or, I don't know, how easy are these good info signs? Not easy? Okay. You can't have the good info sign. Oh, my pen. Okay.
All right. Anyway, let's get back on track.
Let's get back on track. So, you know, we come on here and we do this stuff, and you know, we answer emails and we mess around on Twitter and everything. But you know, what you guys never really get to see is a glimpse into our personal lives. So
yeah, for better or worse.
Which, in my case, is a very good thing. But in some of our other cases, we have many cases. And there are some kind of interesting things that we do in our personal lives sometimes. So we thought that we would go on location and give you guys a little glimpse into one of our personal lives. So let's go to that. All right, here we are in rainy Portland, Oregon, and we're going to see what it looks like inside Rusty's band's practice space at what's the place called? Cement Block Studios?
Portland Cement Studio. You were so close. We got to cut it. This is going to go for 5 minutes.
It's locked. I don't know how we get in, actually. Oh, wait!
Hey, come on in, guys.
First off, let's just talk about the instruments that we've got. And I'm not going to actually play or mess with anything. I'm just going to pick it up.
As you hit my guitar into another
As
guitar.
I knock them together. All right. Oh, this is a Schecter. All right, I thought it was a Rickenbacker.
Exactly. So Schecter put out this line called the Stargazer, and what's really cool about it is it looks like a Rickenbacker, it plays like a Rickenbacker, it's a little bit bigger than a Rickenbacker, and it's also 1/6 of the price of a Rickenbacker.
Oh, that's convenient.
Yeah.
Now let's, oh my God. Now let's just get a close-up of this bad boy.
So this is...
First of all, look at the finish. I love this. Did the other one have this funky,
yeah, it's just black.
like, two-piece pick guard? All right, now tell me what this... Oh, it says volume.
Volume, tone, and tone. They also have coil taps for each pickup.
Ooh.
And then, yeah, neck, middle, which is both, and then bridge. So you can get a variety of tones out of this. I mean, it can sound like a Strat. It can sound like a Gibson, you know, any sort of like humbucking guitar. It can be really, really nasty, and then at the same point, it can be really, really soft and elegant. So don't forget our other friend, the Jazzmaster Bass 6.
For those this is one of these badass Indonesian Squires that also cost nothing and rule.
Yeah, so this is basically right in between where a guitar and a bass would be.
What's this bridge?
I don't know. I think they just like threw a bunch of stuff together and they're like, oh, that'll work.
Wait a minute, this bridge is the weirdest shit.
It's floating, but it's not floating.
And this is just the classic. This is the bass that Geddy Lee played, the bass that Chris Squire played, the bass that they played in Genesis, like all those 70s prog rock bands playing Rickenbackers. Paul McCartney played a Rickenbacker. This is actually one of the real deal 70s ones. They sound incredible, but they never actually sound like those guys made them sound because I don't know why. I don't know. I assume that Rusty's bass player is doing something different than playing like Yes.
It's a little lower, yeah. Yeah, and then we have that Gibson. Don't quote me on this. I think it's an EB3.
Ooh, and somebody added a little P pickup in there.
Yeah.
Because these things sound like almost nothing with just the original stock pickups.
Remember when you said you wouldn't touch them?
I know, but then I touched it a little bit.
You touched it, yeah. And now you have to leave.
All right, Rusty, this amp, or this like pile of amps and cabs is where the magic happens, right?
Right. Yeah,
right.
So this is my bread and butter. This is a 68 Ampeg V4. It has
KT88 tubes in it, which are traditionally bass tubes. It pushes about 150 watts or so. And then I run this out of an orange 412 that's high powered, and that contains 4 100-watt Celestion speakers in it.
What I'm saying is this amp is louder than that train. And so let's actually run a guitar through this bad boy. All right, let's run through these pedals here.
So that was half of the shoegazer pedal. This is actually made locally by Devi Ever. It's 2 different fuzzes. This is a really glitchy, nasty fuzz, and then this is a more traditional one. So we heard the glitchy one. Let's hear the traditional one. Volume and texture.
Oh, TP volume and TP texture, and then SM volume and SM texture.
Yeah, so these are actually 2 fuzz pedals put together.
Yeah.
TP is Torn's Peaker, and then SM is Soda Miser.
Wait, what?
Those are just the names of the other, like the 2 pedals that they put together for this one. So
man, that's a deep cut on the pedal stuff.
So you've heard them individually. How do they sound together? DD3 needs no introduction. It's a classic digital delay that everybody uses. This, on the other hand, is a supernatural reverb made by Hardwire. It has 8 million different features. I only use 1. In some of our songs, I loop parts and then I'll play over them. And the one shot is the best for that because I can make sure that I'm always on. So we can do something like
Hey, Rusty, good news. I brought my bass. You want to jam?
Yeah, sure. What do you got?
I didn't think he was going to say yes.
You know I'm always down to jam. If there's anything that MagFest has taught us, it's that we can always jam. We can always find time to jam.
We love to jam.
All right, so what do you got? So first,
a red velvety strap.
Okay, so I see that our tastes deviate somewhat.
Oh, that's just the beginning.
The tip of the iceberg, as they say. Ooh.
Here's a 5-string Padula Thunder bass.
That's very nice.
That was Rusty's practice space, everybody. I can't believe he let me jam with him. Metal bands don't usually let nerdy bass players just randomly jam with them, but I do think that Rebecca's probably actually going to be in his band now, so whatever. I guess that's how it is. Back to you, Pony. Thank you, Pony. And we're back. All right, well, that happened. And that actually did happen, and there's video proof of it, which you just saw.
You should talk more about how it happened.
Well, let's talk about how it happened, guys. What happened? No, I think the most interesting thing about that, besides seeing the natural blackened environment in which you exist most naturally, was Rebecca with the bass skills. And when I say skills, I mean skills with a Z.
Of course.
That is untrue. 100% untrue.
So humble.
Again, there's video.
There's video proof.
Roll the tape.
Yeah, it happened. We have to play the whole... Apparently, we can't, like, skip ahead, so we have to play the entire thing again just to get to that last little bit.
One more.
All right. Well, we'll probably be doing more dumb stuff like that. glimpses into our lives. I don't know though. I think we might have just like peaked right out of the gate. But I'm always peaking, so it's a thing. All right, all right. So
Sure.
let's get down to something.
You want to talk about some
Yeah,
serious
let's
serious
talk
things?
about some serious things, guys.
Some real stuff?
Because that's what people, you know, a dozen people have tuned in to see is something serious, specifically about the distribution process. You know, it's something that can kind of seem like it exists in this little black box to you guys, but you're interacting with it every day, and you kind of, you know, after you upload, you see your album kind of move through the process in the UI. Sometimes there can be like a little thing that goes wrong. So basically, what we wanted to do is describe really what's happening in that distribution process, the nuts and bolts of it, you know, discuss some areas where things can go sideways, and what you as an artist can do to kind of help your album move along and get distributed as fast as possible and live up on all the music platforms. So let's get right into it, guys. The first part of the process is the user uploading content, right?
Yeah.
This is probably the part that, well, definitely the part that these guys have the most experience with.
Right.
And, you know, they probably notice little things as they're going through it. So let's talk about what are just some of the things that can go wrong, maybe the most common stuff, and what to do about it. So I think localizations, yes, regional language dialectic. What the hell are even localizations? What does a localization do? Because sometimes people use them when they don't have to. What even is it? Let's define it first.
So a localization is, what do you want to appear to people speaking a certain language? So say you are releasing an album in Hebrew, and you want...
As I do all the time.
As you do all the time, you want it to be searchable for English-speaking territories, right? So you want the Hebrew text for Hebrew-speaking territories, and you want English text for English-speaking territories. You can add both of those in the distribution flow.
In the same album. Doesn't
Right.
have to be two different... Oh, we're showing people
Right,
this
and
as
yeah,
we
Yeah.
speak. Okay.
Rusty is showing it. So
God, you guys are good. I should be Fired Fest here.
Let's do Spanish as an example.
Spanish is an example. That's great.
That's one I can translate.
Yeah.
All right.
That's one I can almost recognize when I see it.
Cool. So, yeah, if people are in Spain and they're looking up the name of the record,
Right.
they would be able to find it by buen tiempo as opposed to good time in English. So
Right.
just based upon the language that you're using in the country that you live in.
Exactly. And typically you just want to use these when you are working with two different character sets. Most of the time, as long as it's the same kind of character set,
Yeah,
you're
it's
good to go.
easy
You
enough
don't
to
need
find.
you don't need to worry about it. Another thing you definitely don't want to do in localizations is enter the same text twice, because by default, you're saying, I want the text in the main release title to be in every single territory. And then when you add a localization, it's except this other territory. So there's no need to put it twice if you don't need to.
So what happens if somebody puts it in, like, you know, they put album title in English, and then they see, like, oh, maybe I need to put album title in English again to make sure. Like, what happens if you put it twice? It shows up in English on Spanish sites and stuff?
No, it looks exactly the same. It's just unnecessary.
Right.
Or, you know, what else can happen is, we've seen it before, there's a typo in the second title. So then on
Yeah.
English stores, you have your release
Right.
name with a typo.
And we have seen that happen before with, like,
Yes.
artist names and stuff,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
All right. So localizations, only use them if it's really important that the titles appear certain ways in certain languages in certain territories, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Different character sets.
All right. So then, moving on, you get to the audio files. Now,
We can talk about art first too.
Yes.
should we talk about art?
Yeah,
art
let's-
files first.
Let's
Okay.
talk about art
Yeah.
files first.
Yep.
Isn't that's one of the first things you have to upload?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yep. So one thing I talk to people about all the time is, why does my art look different
Right.
when after I upload it? Or it looked fine when I distributed it, and then it showed up on stores and it looks different. So that is all to do with the color space you use and the color space that our partner stores accept. So color space
Right.
is...
What is color space? That place sounds awesome. Can I go there?
Oh no.
Soundrop is always in color space.
Yeah, where are your sunglasses?
Yeah.
They're in my jacket over there, but
Well,
No.
you are not in the color space.
You're
then.
not in the color space. Color space is CMYK, RGB, and sRGB.
And there's uncalibrated as well.
And there's uncalibrated, which means you didn't select a color space.
Whoops.
But none of these options are actually in Soundrop. You don't select a color space, do you?
No.
You don't. So what we have is when you upload your art, if it's in anything other than RGB, we take it, we convert it to RGB.
Well, that's getting deployed this week and or early next week. We have an art conversion
Right.
thing that we're working with. It's past local testing, and it should be deployed very soon. And with that, yeah, you'll be able to upload PNGs, JPEGs,
And we'll just...
BMP, yeah, just whatever kind of art file. Yeah, bitmap, MS Paint.
Okay.
You can do your stuff in MS Paint now. and
And
we'll
now
be
that's
able
what
to-
Pony would do. So
Hell yeah.
listen, okay.
But the point is,
The point is, if there is one, is you upload your art file, it looks wrong. Does that mean that our converter had to do something?
for color space, yes.
Yes. So there's
Okay.
two different places this can happen. So in the future, it's going to happen automatically. Right now, our inspectors do it. So they try to deliver your album, our content approval team. It says, nope, you can't do it because it's in CMYK. So they download your art, they convert it to RGB, they re-upload it, and it changes slightly. So the CMYK and sRGB are something that we can't really deliver. sRGB, I don't want to say it's a lie.
Whoa, hot takes here. sRGB is a lie.
Well, it's just a false color space.
Yes.
You heard it here.
Infowars.com.
No.
Sorry.
Oh no.
Oh no. All right, no, but okay.
Are you treading on me right now?
Oh God, don't tread on Queen.
Yeah. Am I being
Oh,
detained?
okay, all right, hang
All
on.
right.
Things are going off the rails, and strangely, I'm the one that's going to pull us back on. I
April Fools, everyone.
just want people to know what to do if they upload their art and then it renders funny.
It will look different because we converted the color space. So what you might see, the colors may look a little muted or just a little bit different than your CMYK art. That's unfortunately just how those color spaces work. It's just dependent on the colors that are used to layer on top of each other to create those different colors that you're seeing.
This is so nerdy. So what color space should they use?
RGB.
Not sRGB.
Not sRGB.
All right.
sRGB is something that Adobe made because
It stands for stupid RB.
The Adobe lobby. We got to move on from color spaces
please
here.
don't
We're
take
gonna
away
talk
my
about it forever.
Photoshop account. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We love you, Adobe.
All of a sudden, Rebecca gets locked out. Okay, audio. Let's move on. Audio files
Right.
before this
So
stream
let's
is over.
talk file format and specs.
Oh yeah, let's.
All right.
Something I like talking about more than. Okay, sorry.
So it's pretty straightforward. We accept WAV files, 16-bit, 44.1 kilohertz. That's pretty much it. We will take 24-bit, we'll take 48K, but we will convert it down.
Wait a minute.
So just start 16-bit, 44.1. Everything's going to be great.
So, sometimes people are able to ram 24-bit files into there.
Oh, absolutely.
And it
We'll
works.
accept 24-bit and it will convert down. So just know that the file that you're uploading, if you're uploading 24-bit, is not the file that we're sending.
So, but sometimes people have uploaded 24-bit files and it doesn't accept it, and it gives a goofy error message which we need to improve. And it says something like,
You're not sending us a WAV file.
"Yeah, but it is. It's just the wrong."
Right. So yeah. So
rate or whatever.
yeah, different bit rates, different resolutions can sometimes trigger that. Also, just corrupt uploads. You know, if your internet connection gets interrupted a little bit.
Okay.
Like these are all possible scenarios. The easiest way to ensure that the audio file that you send to us is in the right format is to use a program called Media Human. And that's what we use here at Soundrop. That's what our content approval team uses. It's super
Yeah,
straightforward.
let's go to the. Or we're already there.
Yeah.
Well, here,
I love this.
I do. Let's do some
Engineer's
music.
killing it today.
All right. Check out this Ghost Witch demo. So what I could do is I can just take...
Nobody thought they were going to hear. Get a load of this Ghost Witch demo.
They're a now
in the
defunct
stream today.
Sacramento doom band. They're great. Sorry, I have to get used to saying this. They were great. All right. So basically, all you do is you drag and drop the files into Media Human. You set up you set up the conversion to 16-bit 44.1, and then you simply just click this button, and it does the entire conversion for you. Take those converted files, upload them to Soundrop, and then everything's good.
All right. So use Media Human, 16-bit. Anything else?
No, that'll do it. That's it.
All right, then we move on. So you get the artwork uploaded. Now you're moving on to like entering all the little pieces of metadata. One bug that we're dealing with right now, where you enter it, you move out of the field, and it says you got to enter something, right? What is that? I've seen that.
That is the ISRC field.
Yes.
So you can copy in the ISRC, or you can type it in like this. All right. So you'll notice I have it, my ISRC.
Oh yeah. You've got your own ISRCs, Rusty?
Dude, it's
How many
so
ISRCs?
legitimate.
Do you have like 100,000 ISRCs?
You know, I got a block, man. We can
Rusty's
talk
got a
about
whole
it.
block
I got an ISRC
Oh my
block.
god, this is the nerdiest stream.
So basically, yeah, you can take these, and what you'll find sometimes is if you copy and paste, it may give you an error where it says that it's not available or that you haven't put anything in. If that happens, simply click away from it or hit enter, and that will work.
So you just gotta enter.
Yeah.
Gotta enter.
When in doubt, just hit enter. And I find that this is mostly for text fields. Numbers seem to work just fine.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, so... But in any case, we're going to get that fixed, and so in a minute, it won't even be...
Yeah.
Not a literal minute, but...
Right.
But yeah, type your stuff and hit enter.
That's
Feels
right.
good.
Yeah, and I want to bring back to Chelsea, who was talking about can we upload FLAC? We do currently convert all audio to FLAC. That is a great suggestion. That's something that we'll definitely look into. But I just wanted to make sure I addressed that.
Yeah.
Because I put it in chat as well.
Absolutely.
All right.
All right, what's
I see
next?
people asking... Hey, Vic.
Ooh.
I want to make sure we get...
Ooh, do we want to talk publishing?
Wait, is somebody writing down the questions?
We'll
People ask them in the chat? All right.
get to them.
All right, so then, all right, here's the... You get to the publishing section, which is where you're entering the information about the songs that you're covering. I know this gets confusing for people. Sometimes you say you're doing a medley, and you have to enter each composition that you're covering as a separate entry into that form. Even though it's only one track that you're uploading, you're covering multiple songs. So you have to create a separate entry for each
Let's take
song that you're covering.
let's take a
Are you
look.
gonna? Yeah, let's jump into it here.
All right. So we got Pone Thugs and Harmony with the track Good Time.
Wait a minute. What is the name of this band?
Pone Thugs and Harmony.
I love you guys.
All right, so you'll notice when we click through into publishing information, this is for a cover song. We just have one composition. The only fields that really are required are the original song title and the original recording artist. So this is going to be Crossroads by Bone Thugs and
Okay.
Harmony.
I went down to the crossroads.
And then I also need to hit enter. Lovely. And then if this were a medley, I would add another composition. And then this could be, let's see, what's a good track? How about
Emerson, Lake and Pony.
I was thinking YYZ by Rush. Yeah, and then you would just keep going through all of the compositions. With a cover song, you would be paying per composition, so keep that in mind with medleys. So we're currently at 2, so that would be $20. But yeah, that's what you want to do if you're submitting a medley and you don't want it to get rejected.
Right, because what'll happen if you can ram it through with all the tracks clumped into one composition, but we won't be able to license it because the data will be all screwed up.
Exactly.
So then it doesn't get caught until it's already gone through the thing, and then we gotta push it back, and then you gotta fix it, and it just delays it further.
Right.
Yeah.
So, publishing section, make sure to enter each composition separately.
Right. And the other thing about the publishing section is that there are a lot of different roles that you can choose if you're doing originals or public domain. So I'm going to throw something in the chat right now, which is just our Help Center article. about what do roles all mean. So if you've ever had a question about that, this is your answer in chat right now.
And that
live.
Whoa.
Good info.
Sweet.
Okay. I liked the quiet yell. Good info. All right. Now, sometimes you get to the end of the upload process, or even earlier, or maybe it's the end of the release setup. You go, you're like, yep, all looks good, approve, and then all of a sudden you get this list of warnings and errors, right?
Yep.
Is that where it happens?
That is where it happens.
All right, let's talk about that real quick, because I feel like that's throws a lot of people into a fit of geeking.
Right.
Right?
So yeah,
But not the good kind.
There are warnings and there are errors. You'll notice that the error that we have for this one is in red. Red means that's an error. You cannot proceed without something being fixed. In this instance, the audio file for this track is actually missing.
Yeah. Stop in the name of love. Go back. Fix your errors. Now, what about warnings?
So let's see. So if I were to put in 100 good times, this is actually going to give me a warning because there's a number in the title. We just want to make sure. This is just things to consider. Having the track numbers, like track 1 being labeled the number 1 and then 100 good times, that wouldn't work. And so you'll see that here. Track title contains track number. That's just, just check it.
Yeah. So errors, are there any errors, first of all, are there any errors that the error messaging isn't great that always hangs people up and they're like, I don't know, I don't get it?
The most common errors?
Or just one, the most confusing? Is there one that you can think of off the top of your head? If not, and maybe they're all very self-explanatory.
I think the errors are pretty clear. It's the warnings that sometimes trip people up. And it's mostly just not realizing that you actually can submit it even with
the warning. Yeah. So yeah, if it's yellow, you can ignore it and continue, or you can fix it if it is actually legitimately something that you should change.
Okay. So errors, warnings, read them, don't freak out. Error, go back and fix it. Warning, just check it.
Right.
Yeah.
And we'll check it too.
Yes.
Yeah, and we check every single album that comes through, so we see all the errors and well, can you even save it if it has an error?
Not if it saves if it has an error. You just can't submit it.
Right. You cannot
that's
click
slick.
through for distribution.
Slick.
Yeah.
All right, nice. All right, so then basically after you get the list of errors and warnings, you've approved it, then it says distribute now. When you hit distribute now, it locks it down and sends it over to us,
Yes.
right?
Well, after you set the stores,
Right.
the prices, the territories, and the release date.
Right. Okay. So say you get to the end of the album, and then you're like, I got this error. I'm not sure. I feel like I should go back and fix it, but I don't know what to do right now. Can you just save it and not distribute it?
Yes. When it gives you the error message or the warning, it has been saved. And really, that's all you need.
Okay.
So once it's been saved, if you don't understand the warning, you don't understand the error, just get in touch, look through the help center. Or if you can't figure it out, hit us up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Send us an email.
But at least save it. Go into our help center, figure out what you need to do, and then go in and fix it. And you get that little blue button that says actions, modify, and then you can go back in and start fixing things. Okay, so say it's all good. Errors, I don't have any. Warnings, oh yeah, I don't care. I hit distribute now.
Yeah.
Now I'm going into the distribution options. So now these are settings and options that you can pick that aren't about the release itself, not about the content or the metadata, things like territories and pricing. So let's run through those real quick.
Yeah.
What are the top part is the release dates, right?
Right.
Okay, so
So you can do as soon as possible, and then once it's delivered to stores, that becomes your release date.
the day it's delivered.
The day it's
If you
delivered.
pick
Yeah.
ASAP, okay. So if you select a specific release date,
Right.
just I think the main thing to keep in mind is that setting that release date doesn't automatically guarantee that it goes live on that release date unless it's far enough out that it's gone through the whole rest of the process already by that date. So
wait, for my cover song
Yeah.
that I want to come out in 2 days,
Yes.
you're telling me that if I set April 3rd
Uh-huh.
as my specific day, it's not going to go up by
No, it
April
will.
3rd.
It will. April Fools, loser. Your band sucks. No, I'm just kidding. Rusty's band is awesome.
You got me again?
Yeah, and I've seen the practice space. I can tell they're awesome. No, it still has to go through the licensing process, the approval review process, and all that stuff takes like a few days or more. So set the release date. What I always recommend is set a release date that is weeks out. Plan weeks ahead. And that way, if there are any little hiccups in the process, there's plenty of time to deal with them. Still get it to Spotify for their playlist consideration by the deadline, which is like 7 days before the release date or something like that.
Right.
Cool. Are there any other like weird kind of non-intuitive stuff, bugs, things that nobody would expect that happens around release dates?
There was something, but it's since been resolved. It was related to the date that sales would start versus the actual release date, and sometimes those didn't line up exactly right for future release dates. We've since fixed that, so there shouldn't
Right.
be any issues there.
Yeah, don't talk about stuff we already fixed, Rusty.
Well, we're
It's not even a problem. What are you talking about? I never heard of it.
It's constant improvement. Let's see, the P&C fields, when you're filling out information on the album, whatever those years are, that's what Spotify will default to. That's what Google will default to as well. So if you made the cover art for this release like 3 years ago and you put 2016 down for your copyright date, that's not going to kick your new release into new releases for Spotify. Keep it current. It's very important.
G2K. Okay, so what if I set it up, I distribute it, it doesn't go live on the release date, I'm like, what the F? And then because that's what I say all the time, is what the F.
All the time.
And these guys know. And then I go in, I look at the album in Soundrop, and it shows that I actually put the release date like months and months in the future when I didn't mean to. How do I fix that?
How do you fix that?
Yeah.
You want to take this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it
The one thing
depends.
Rusty doesn't know.
Well, I don't hog.
Oh, that's fair enough. Fair enough. Appreciate that.
It depends on where you are at in the process. So if you have hit yes, submit for distribution, and it's sitting there in processing, the way you fix that is you email us and you say, I need to change my release date. If it's already been delivered,
Yeah, I'm saying it's already been.
it's already been delivered. You go into your account, you go to the distribution tab, you go to live,
Ooh.
you go to actions, hover options, modify rates and pricing.
Hey, can we get a screen share going? Yeah. Thanks.
Oh, I thought we had one.
They're whispering to each other.
Is there something
There's
you'd
been-
like to share with the entire class, ladies?
There's been some audio issues and they are working on it
That's right.
very diligently.
Yeah. So basically, yeah.
Thanks
So
for-
okay.
Do I need to do a sound check?
No.
If it's already live,
Yeah.
you go into the distribution tab, go to live, you'll see the stores.
Right.
And then what do?
Then you go to options, modify rates and pricing.
Whoa.
Whoa, there it is. On a specific date, you can change that to whenever you would like or ASAP. Just keep all those rules in mind. If it's too soon, we might not get it there in time, but we'll do our best. And that date will be displayed. So if you're within a week of your release date and
It's questionable.
yeah, it's questionable. It might not make it, but there you go. That's how you do it.
All right.
Okay.
And then what if you realize that it has gone live? You meant to put the release date 4 months out, and all of a sudden you realize, oh crap, I put this month, and now it's out. Can you? Is there any way to back out of it?
You can do the exact same thing. Unfortunately, that doesn't stop it from being live until the delivery goes through. So that could be a couple days. If that's the case, honestly, I would just suggest you leave it out.
Yeah.
So
That's
if you
gonna be
accidentally release it early, just roll with it.
Just roll with it. It was a
right.
secret release.
Secret
It was a
release.
surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
a
don't tell
secret-
anybody.
April
Nice.
Fools.
I
you
like
know,
that.
all that stuff.
Yeah, April Fool's joke. I accidentally released my album early. All right.
What a funny joke.
So
So we were talking, yeah, distribution options.
right?
So let's say we
Yes.
navited through.
Yeah,
wa-
okay.
Was there anything
Basic,
left to cover?
yeah. So you got the release date, and then you move down to like territories. It's like which parts of the world you want it to be available in, and which parts you don't want it to be available in.
Right.
Most people pick worldwide. If you don't pick worldwide and you select or deselect certain territories, is there anything weird that can happen as a result of any of that? Things that always hang people up. Do I even
think
have?
it's mostly, sometimes you accidentally select the country that you actually want to go to.
Yeah.
Just knowing that that's optional.
Right.
You don't have to select anything there.
Yeah. It's
As far as we're
pretty
concerned,
rare.
why limit yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be like if you had somebody else owned the rights to the music, that like the actual sound recording in Japan or something. You don't want to release it there. Who knows? Okay, so territories is good. Pre-orders. I know sometimes there's an issue where it seems like it won't let somebody wants to select pre-orders. It won't let them. What's going on there?
Yeah. So
that a
a
thing that
pre-order
happens?
can't start too soon. So what we were noticing is people plan a release date for, let's say, a week out. Their pre-order was 2 days out, and then we didn't review it in time. So we sent it to partners with a pre-order date that was in the past, which
Not
is not good.
Do we get in trouble for that?
I mean, no, we don't get in trouble for that, but the delivery doesn't go through because they're like, why are you asking me to make this pre-order?
A post-pre.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So what we've done is we've limited it a little bit to what you can select, which is really a good thing for your
Yeah.
pre-order. You
It's
don't
for
want
your
it to
health.
start. Yeah, you don't
Seven,
want it to
7
start-
plus days out.
7 plus
For
days.
your health.
It's
All
just
right.
like that Netflix documentary series, 7 Days Out.
Never heard of it.
Whoa, never
It's
seen it.
really
What's
cool.
that about?
It's about 7 days leading up to like a really huge event. So they have one about NASA. They have one about the Westminster Dog Show. All sorts of things.
Man, the Westminster Dog Show, I have been trained through my experience in life to hate it so much because it is the only thing they would ever preempt Monday Night Raw for, was the damn Westminster Dog Show. You go to watch Raw, and it's like...
And there's just a Pekingese just hanging out,
Okay.
floofing all over the place.
I'm Pekingese.
Oh no.
All right.
That is your
Wrestling
spirit
minute is
animal.
later, you guys.
Yeah, sorry. Okay. And I'll be going in depth about the Westminster Dog Show. I
Can't
won't.
wait.
All right, territories, pre-orders. Oh, pricing. Oh, good God.
Yes. So
That's better. That used to be a complete dumpster fire, right?
So
recycling bin fire,
a recycling bin fire,
which would be worse because those things are plastic. Can you imagine?
and they're usually full of
Paper.
So pricing, really, we give you all your options right up there. Victor had a great question that I wanted to make sure that I addressed, which
Yeah.
was, why can you not select 99 cents for an album? And that is because we are limited to what the partners request pricing for different releases. So if you have more than one track, usually 99 cents, you're not going to be able to select because partners ask us the least amount we can make it would be $129. It's usually the sum of whatever the tracks are.
Okay,
Right.
I see. So the
Right.
pricing selections that are in there are fed to the user based on what pricing those stores use.
Correct.
Yep, that's
That's
right.
smart. And then people get mad about that, huh?
Well, I don't think people get mad about it.
Is
It's
Vic
just
mad at us?
No.
no.
Are you mad at us?
He-
Okay.
It's just,
It was
I
just a
can't live-
question.
I-
It was
it's an
just-
innocent question, Pony. Everything's going to be okay.
No one is mad
Just
at you.
I
It's
just don't want Vic to
fine.
be mad at me.
Remember
All
your
right.
breathing lessons.
Hold on.
I
Let
had
me
to
let
take
me
breathing
ping him.
lessons. Even the simple things don't come easily to
All
me.
right.
All right.
Let's keep moving.
Yeah, the
so-
other thing to keep in mind, sorry,
yeah,
about pricing is just even if you select $16 for your album price, but the sum of the tracks is $4, it's going to be $4.
But it will let people select $16?
The system might, but it's just and this is how it works for every distributor. It's just kind of a safety check.
Okay.
So, and Vic says he is not mad at you.
Thanks, bro.
Not a bit, haha.
Aw.
There you go.
And also, I just want to do a shout out for how passionate you are about pricing options.
I have
Passionate pricing.
changed many a
Pricing
pricing
with
option.
Yeah,
In
okay,
my
that's why.
day.
That's why Rebecca's passionate about it. Anything that like stops things from getting screwed up makes Rebecca happy.
Right.
All right. So now you've gotten through all your distribution options. You move on to, okay, I approve. Send it to Soundrop to make sure. We give it a once over. That takes like a couple days, maybe 5 days if we're really backed up. If you see it there longer than 5 days, at that point just email us because it means something has jumped the tracks and it's like, it doesn't happen very often, but it's possible. Maybe something about it looks sketchy, sets off the radar. We just kind of set it aside. You never know. But what's like 4 or 5 days is the cutoff. If you see it sitting there in processing for more than a few days, hit us up.
More than 5 days, I would say. You know, we have as we're going into the next topic. There are real people checking this. So that means that there are real people's schedules. There are real people who take sick days.
How dare they?
How dare they? So that might kind of fluctuate depending on how many releases we have, who's up there. But you know, sometimes we'll park a release. It might mean that somebody's left a note that there's a special project on your account. Like if we're changing the pricing on every single one of your albums, they might be like, oh wait, hold on, this wasn't processing before you left that note. So let's make sure. It's not always a bad thing why something is in processing for a long time. But do let us know if it's more than 5 days. Yeah,
and you know, there is the possibility that for some reason we can't approve it. We will, if that happens, we'll kick it back to you so you can update it. We'll shoot you an email and let you know what the problem is. If you don't understand the email, just know that it was a real person that sent it to you. And the first thing you want to do, check the style guide, which you can download right from the resources section of your Soundrop dashboard. Try to look at it. A lot of times it's just something with the track title not matching the album titles or the artist names not matching or something like that. Try to look at it, see if you can figure it out. If you can't figure it out, because that happens sometimes, just not that clear, what are people to do if that happens?
Please just email support@soundrop.com.
Yeah. Real people also answer that email and will look at the album and tell you specifically what you have to change and what your options are. Don't just keep hammering it into the system thinking that you're going to trick the robot. You're not tricking the robot. You're just bumming out a dude named David.
Yeah.
Who's a sweet dude.
And
he actually doesn't get bummed out. He'll just kick it back to you. And after a while, he'll be like, okay, they don't get it. Lock their account, right?
Yep. David
don't do that.
David's awesome. He's probably the one who's going to inspect about 60% of releases.
That dude's badass. We should have him on this stream sometime.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah, we should.
He'd be the most dead. We'll do a stream that instead of me and Rusty and Rebecca, it's just Rebecca and David and Mike Bugbee.
That would be so much fun. Though I think we also need to bring in Kev B.
Oh, we should just have those three. Have them run the stream sometime. See what they come up with. It would be fun. Nobody knows these people. We should get them. We should get them on. All right, we're moving on here. Just don't freak. We just couldn't distribute it because there's something that didn't pass the guidelines of what we've agreed to with Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and like we have agreements with them that says the content that we're going to send them meets certain guidelines. We all agree to it, and if something doesn't meet those guidelines, we can't distribute it. So don't freak. If you're not sure what it is, just hit us up.
Yep, and just don't resubmit it. That never quite works out, and sometimes we make mistakes. So please, like if you get really frustrated and you're like, come on, this person is not just getting it. It's really that they just don't get it, and they're just a person.
Yeah.
We are really pulling back the curtain here, admitting that we make mistakes.
So many curtains, they're all pulled back. All right.
Whoa, Rusty. Okay, so
we're already at 7 o'clock as a time check, just to let you both know.
All right, let's
keep
ram through the rest of this.
Keep going.
Licensing. Okay. After we approve it, we send it over to licensing. Our licensing partner will either, in the vast majority of cases, go, oh yeah, this is fine. Boom, comes back to our system. If there's a situation where we have approved the content and the metadata, but we've sent it to licensing and for some reason it can't get licensed, What's happening here?
So if it can't get licensed, it goes back to our content approval team, and they take a look and they say, okay, should this have been licensed? Did our licensing team make a mistake because they are also humans? Or can we not license it? And in the case that we can't license it, we'll send it back to you with a note that says, hey, this is why we can't license it. And sometimes it's that we just need some formatting changes, like it was a medley that wasn't signed up with different compositions, or sometimes it's just this hasn't been released in the US and we can't license it.
Until it's been released in the US.
So something like that happens, you can either leave it in your account and then just keep an eye on it, and when it comes out on iTunes, when the original comes out on iTunes, resubmit it, and then it probably will get licensed. Or just bail on the thing, let us know, we'll refund you, and then maybe it comes out later, and then you can then you can distribute it, and it can be licensed. All right, so, oh yeah, there's the little colors that indicate where it's at in the licensing process. Let's run through those real quick, right?
Okay.
Yep.
There's
Gray
gray.
hasn't been sent yet.
Not yet sent.
Oh, all right. If you see that, how long does it stay in that status?
Well, it would stay in that status until it's been inspected and approved.
Okay.
Once it's approved, it would move to, and I'm colorblind, but I think it's orange. That is in progress.
Yes.
Is it orange?
I would call
it
it
yellow?
goldenrod. But
Goldenrod. Let's move on. There's goldenrod and gray.
There are four statuses.
Goldenrod.
There's not yet sent, meaning we haven't sent it to our licensing partner. There's in progress, meaning that we have sent it, but it hasn't been approved or declined yet. And then there's green if it's approved, at which point it moves on to actual distribution. And then there's red, which means that it failed licensing. And just like Rebecca mentioned, it could be related to formatting, or it could be related to the fact that it is not licensable yet.
But Rusty, they don't have to worry about all that because it's going to be green. Don't worry, it's going to
super
be
green.
Which means that we then send it to Spotify and Apple and Amazon and Deezer and all those places, right?
Pandora.
So, at that point, okay, real quick, Rusty, run us through what's happening when, okay, licensed, approved, sent, what's going on behind the scenes? How does that even work? Do we email it to Spotify in like a zip file? That's what I would do.
Not exactly, no. So
I'm not the one doing it.
We have direct feeds to our different partners, and they all have different kinds of formats. But basically what all it is like we send a folder that contains the XML, which is a file with all of your metadata formatted specifically to the specific store. And then the artwork and the audio, they all have unique file names. And then there's a batch ID as well. So for everything that we deliver, it has its own unique batch ID, unique file names, and then XML as well.
Oh.
It's very boring, but that's what we do. So we
It's boring, but good info.
Right, yes. we send the stuff in the way that our partners want through FTPs, and and then within 24 to 48 hours, it is up, if that is when your release date is.
yes, and sorry, Chelsea mentioned we don't have to do anything once the licensing status is green. In most cases, no, we don't have to do anything. It goes right to the partners with all the info.
And then it just sits there on their servers, goes live on the release date.
Right. There are some cases where you might see something go to error. And that is when we do have to intervene.
Sometimes we have to intervene. Sometimes there are automated fixes for specific types of errors.
Oh, I like those.
Yeah, automated are my favorite kinds. Yeah, so we have virtual machines that are basically running for every service, and sometimes those virtual machines are trying to pull from the same file, and so every once in a while you could catch a glimpse of a file being used in a different process because both Spotify, iTunes, and Deezer are all trying to grab this same WAV file, and one's going to beat the other two out.
Yeah, which is what I refer to as crapping out.
Yeah, we call it concurrency issues.
Rusty and Rebecca call it concurrency issues.
Yeah, and those automatically fix themselves. We just run the same kind of grabbing of data within a few minutes.
All right.
So those kinds of errors you never have to worry about. Know
Right.
that they'll be taken care of.
All right, so if you see it end up in that errors queue, don't worry about it. We take care of those. We'll clear them out. If you see it sitting there for more than like a couple days, then maybe hit us up and see what's up. Now, okay, it's out there. It's in the wild. It goes live. It's your release date. You look at it on the service, and something's wrong. And a track title was spelled wrong. Oh my God, what do we do? Rusty,
Well.
Rebecca, somebody help me because I literally don't know.
Well, basically what you do is you light everything on fire and then you run around and
I
scream.
can do that. I'm great at that.
April Fools. Yes. All right. If it's like your track title, your album title's misspelled, if your genre didn't map exactly how you wanted it to, you put instrumental down and then Amazon listed it as gospel music, for example.
Yep.
Oh, that's never happened.
Not ever. Not in the history of instrumental being a non-genre. So if those sorts of things happen, you can actually go in to your account and make the changes yourself and actually send them through. Again, content approval team will take another pass at it just to make sure that you didn't do anything bonkers. But
Nobody ever does anything bonkers. Do we have time to like just show them like how to send updates?
sure.
Yeah, I would
Are
say
we off the rails here?
I would say that there
a little off
there
the
are
rails.
some things that we're a little off rails. That's okay. We can continue. There are some things that you're not able to update,
Right.
which would be audio. Once you've delivered it, that's because it's permanently associated with your ISRC. So that's like when you get an ISRC and it's delivered to a store, that's like saying this is the fingerprint for that audio recording. Unless
Right.
there's a kind
Why
of
is it acting like we're on? Wait, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Rebecca, but I'm looking at Twitch and it looks like we're offline.
Yeah, the stream froze.
You're recording. You've lost internet.
Yeah, we're still going.
We're still going?
You don't have to. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's keep moving.
I barely know how the internet works, I guess. It just seems I can't see it, so I thought it didn't work. All
Cool.
right. Sorry, Rebecca. Pick up where you left off.
so sorry. There's
That
some
is
things.
really
So
distracting
changes
when
that you can
everything-
make and
Yes.
how exactly you would go about
Oh
it.
yeah. Can they see it if we screen share it?
Well, let's go ahead and screen share it.
All right. Sorry, Ben.
All right.
I don't know why nothing's working for me.
So basically, all you would
Yeah.
do, you would find the release that you're looking for, that you want to make changes to. So this is a cover song of a 90s crust punk band.
Of course it is.
Of course it is. And let's say for whatever idiot reason, I just, it's actually chain of commands with 7 Z's. And so I'm going to make that update. I'm also going to have to, because it's a single, I'll have to make it on the track level as well. For cover songs, you can't actually change your track titles because we send your track titles when we get licensing.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What if they just looks like a little correction?
Then you got to email us, and we'll
Okay.
make the change.
Okay. So you can. It's just the user
It's
can't
like
change it
yeah,
right
it's like
there in the
if you made a
form.
typo.
I get you.
Yeah. However,
Okay, so they have to email us if there's changes to the track title, even if it's like a minor misspelling or something.
yeah, if it's a cover song, you have to do that.
Yep. If it's a cover song.
Only if it's a cover song.
I think for originals as well, we've locked that down, and that's just to prevent anything weird from happening. Like I said, the ISRC is permanently associated with your audio file, that metadata, and some stuff can be changed if it's an error, but some stuff can't. And so
Right.
we know what can and can't be changed, so we take control of that. Anything on the release level, really, besides your UPC, can be changed by you.
Right. Yeah. Change the artwork.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
Yep.
So overall, just know that whatever's going on, whatever is happening in the interface as you're going through the upload process, the point of it is just we're trying to help you out.
Right.
Some of the stuff is automated, some of the stuff is locked down. All of that is just to prevent you from making mistakes that are going to delay things later. So just roll with it. If you have any questions, don't just hammer the system. Email us. We'll get right back to you. We'll explain the problem. We got you taken care of. We're here for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
All right, Veronica, you want me to do one more, like, we're here for you? Or was that a good wrap-up on that section?
We're,
What?
One more.
one more. Go for it.
You want one more? All right.
We're just showing
The
everyone.
one more that nobody asked for. Do
Yeah.
it.
Except for me. I led myself into it. So just know here, I'm doing this one's this one's for the YouTube video anyway, later. Just know that no matter what happens during the upload process, it's there so that you don't enter any bunk data, so it doesn't delay the distribution later. I feel like this is even worse than the first one.
It's not
It was
good.
better when it was. Well, none of it was good. Let's get out of this thing.
Let's move on.
Thank you.
What else do we got here?
So before we get into the fun questions,
we got questions.
We got questions. We did have a question from Chelsea that I also wanted to add in here in this section, which was Chelsea noticed that there's somebody uploading audio from another artist under a different artist name. It was just found on Spotify and was wondering, is this an industry-wide issue? And I think
The answer is a resounding yes.
It's an industry-wide issue. Well, there are ways services are working on to make this not an industry-wide issue. So audio fingerprinting is definitely something that people have looked into, which would be...
Some people have looked into that.
Some people have definitely looked into that.
Yeah. It's definitely a thing. It's not on the DSP side.
Right. It's not on the DSP. They have probably hundreds of providers, record labels, distributors, sending stuff to them. Some distributors check things and some distributors don't. And that's one of the reasons why we check things, is because there are people out there who are looking to make money off of other people's music, which is not okay.
Yeah, we check the shit out of it.
Yeah, and then we
really
shut
do.
that shit down.
We do. I have shut much of that shit down, as
Yeah.
has Rusty.
Yeah. Nothing
yeah.
brings me greater joy
But you
than the nuclear take down
Yeah.
all releases button that we have.
Whoa.
So much fun.
The dark side of Rusty.
That's
the
right.
blackened side.
Sometimes-
The blackened funeral sludge side of Rusty.
Ooh, now
Sometimes
you're
you've
speaking
just
my
been
language.
I know.
dealing with this copyright infringement for weeks and weeks, and finally you get to hit take down all releases.
Yeah.
It just feels so good.
We're not doing it to legitimate artists.
No.
No, of course
Uh,
not.
and yeah, and so if somebody is stealing your content, go to the service, like go to Spotify
Yes.
and issue the
DMCA.
DMCA
Do we have
takedown.
information about how to issue a DMCA takedown?
Is that in the help center?
That can be in the help center.
It
Let's
will
make that
be.
be in the
It will be in the help center.
And even if you notice somebody else is stealing somebody else's music and neither one of those is you, just email support@soundrop.com.
Also,
Right.
if you ever want to figure out which distributor the bad actor uses, go to YouTube Music, because YouTube Music provides information in the description. It says provided to YouTube by, and then the distributor name.
Yes, please do check that. We've had some people report users to us who actually don't exist in our system. So
Right.
that's always a bummer when it seems like we're not doing anything about it, but it's just because that's actually not an artist we work with.
Right.
That happens.
It has happened. We
Oh my God.
talked about it last week.
Ugh. All right. Let's not talk about that anymore.
Yeah.
All right, let's
do
go
we
to-
do we have some actual
We
questions
do.
here?
Yeah.
Well, that was an actual question.
That wasn't actual.
Yeah, that was an
question.
actual question. Why did I say actual?
That was a factual question.
That was a factual question. Thank you for that question.
All right, let's do some more questions here.
All right. What do we got?
We got some questions that came to us prior to the stream here, so let's roll through those. What are the best pranks we've ever pulled? I don't pull pranks on people. Do you pull pranks on people?
No, not since we were doing Bros Icing Bros in college.
Oh,
And
Rose ice, is that something we should not talk about?
it was a stupid thing in the early 2000s where you would hide Smirnoff Ices, and then
I
if
remember
somebody
that.
else found it, they'd have to drink it.
I would love that. I'd be like, fuck yeah, I'll slam a Smirnoff Ice.
I mean,
thanks for the free Smirnoff Ice.
After a long night of partying, and then you leave a Smirnoff Ice in like the upper section of a toilet, and it won't flush, and they look to investigate, and they see an ice.
Oh, that's brutal.
That's a bad prank. Don't do it.
All right. Yeah, Bros Icing. Okay. Rebecca, do you pull pranks on people?
I don't pull pranks on people, but I have a good prank story because someone pulled a prank on me. So I'm going to tell you the story of the time I got kidnapped. This is legitimate. So, at
This got so dark so quickly.
What was the ransom?
a Smirnoff Ice
Oh no.
Oh,
And
you're worth so much more than that.
with a
Rebecca.
ranch soda
with a
chaser.
ranch soda chaser.
All right, please go.
So,
Taste that shit.
I was a young 16-year-old And I grew up.
She was young for 16.
I was young for 16.
Even
I
back
grew up
then.
in a very small town. So when I say I was walking out the road, I was literally walking out the one road. So I was a lifeguard. I was walking. My mom was supposed to pick me up from my job, and she was late. So I decided to start walking out the one road. So I've got my music going. I'm walking. I'm like jamming out. It's summer. It's really nice out. And I suddenly have somebody grabs me from behind and just screams, "Get in the car!" And so I immediately freeze and I just get pulled into this van, and I'm laying there and I'm in my lifeguarding uniform, which is like shorts and a t-shirt and a swimsuit. And I'm freaking out. I'm like, am I going to die? This is a town of 1,500 people. So who in the world would want to kidnap me? And I look up and it's my friends who, rolling down the street, they were moving in a van, grabbed me and threw me in a van and told me that I was going to go cruising with them, which is a thing in a small town where you just drive around because there's nothing else to do.
Yeah.
So that was the best prank that has ever been pulled on me.
Oh my God. I've never heard that story, and I got so wrapped up in there for a minute that I was like, oh no, wait, she made it because she's here.
Yeah, spoilers.
I know, spoiler.
It was
She
also-
didn't die.
It was also an island, so there's really no way anyone was going to get me off of this island.
Man. You know, the
Except
best.
by boat.
A prank that got pulled on me once was, I had a birthday party and I had just tons of people at my house. And at one point, my one buddy, like, this is many years ago, like, came up to me and was like, real cool, and was like, here you go, man. And he like handed me a sack of weed. And I was like, oh, sweet, bro. And I like put it in my pocket. And then like later I was like hanging out with some people and I was like, oh yeah, I can pack one. I pulled it out and I went like that, and then I opened it and it was just cat shit. He had just like, and it was just like he took it out of the litter box, so it was like dry and crusty, and then just rolled it up in the baggie. And I was just like, oh my God, I was just like carrying around this like bag of cat shit. And it was like right in the middle of like a circle of people where we're gonna like, yeah, let's smoke a blunt. And I'm like, oh God.
So did you smoke it or what?
Oh yeah, hell yeah. It was Michigan. All right, let's get out of this pranks question. Pineapple on pizza, yes or no? We've covered this before. I say I always was against it until I tried a pizza that had really good salty pepperoni that was like kind of artisan pepperoni and fresh pineapple, and I was like, okay, this tastes good. Opinions on
Yes.
pineapple on pizza?
I will say, if you were ever in our area, which is Portland, Oregon, and you go to Mississippi Pizza, do try the Cowboy Pizza. It's got sausage and jalapenos and pineapples, and it's delicious.
Yeah, when you mix the spicy in, it really changes the game.
Yeah. Spicy, salty, and sweet. All good.
That's and then what's the sickest sound you've ever dropped? Thank you, Torby Brand, for the question. What's the sickest sound you've ever dropped? I dropped a really sick sound once, and right now everybody is like, "Oh God, what is Pony gonna say?" But I basically
It's the sound of the cat shit hitting the cement.
no. This has nothing to do with feces. Well, actually, I don't
let's
know
back
what the
that up.
director thought, but basically, I was the bass player for this like musical theater company. So they had like a live pit band that kind of like was in a corner of the stage, on stage, and we would play the music live that the singers and actors would sing and perform to. And so it's like a pretty sensitive situation, you know, you have to be like quiet when you need to be quiet, you have to be silent. And there was this one part of this one song where the female lead was like singing this beautiful, like heartfelt, like vocal solo, and it was just this quiet, dark moment where the stage is dark and the spotlight is on her, and right at that moment I like bumped the input of my amp where the cord goes in, and it made the most loudest piercing screech, like feedback sound. So I'm just like, everybody's sitting there, she's doing this like dramatic vocal solo, and all of a sudden my freaking amp is just like, and the entire audience, like everybody in the entire building was just like, and like it froze the entire like all the humanity in that place. And then later we're doing like notes for the like after the show. I stopped it and I fixed it like somehow. And then after the director's running through the notes from the show, and she's like, and Pony, that'll never happen again. Anyway, moving on, like nobody needed to say anything about it, but I'll say at that moment, that was the sickest sound that I ever dropped. It was disgusting. Do we have any other questions?
I want to say the sickest sound I ever dropped was one time I played Sunshine of Your Love better than anyone else in the whole room.
Oh, that's right.
I was there.
That was a sick sound. And I was like, damn, that's sick.
No one said that, and that was a lie.
I think I might have actually said that. Yeah,
Oh.
I was impressed.
Nice.
All right. Did we get any other questions during the stream?
I think we addressed all of them.
Yeah. Cool.
Are we even still streaming?
Oh,
I
we
can't tell
are.
what's going on.
Let's keep going.
Okay.
We cut out, but we're good.
All right, we're good. Okay. It's time to find out what's on Rusty's mind.
Man, there's so many things have happened within the last month.
Oh, God.
I'm really, really excited about. Can we talk about brain-computer interfacing for a minute?
No.
Yeah, that is
Oh, my God.
an experimental psychologist who works for Valve gave a presentation at the GDC conference, which is redundant because it's Game Developers Conference.
It's like your PIN number.
Yeah, what? Please. Yeah, exactly. Just a fascinating conversation that has not been released to the public yet. It's like his presentation is going to be in their vault, I think, within the next week or two, and I can't wait to give that a watch and see exactly what they're going to be able to do. I mean, the idea that you take either wetware on top of your head or an actual chip inside of your brain that will, if you think of like all of your senses here and your brain here, there's a chip that's in the middle that takes over and tells you what your senses should be looking at or feeling. It's fascinating. We're not far away from something like Sword Art Online. It's pretty wild.
I was just gonna make a San Junipero reference, but that was better.
I'm just horrified into silence.
I'll send you a link to the presentation when it's live.
So this should be called "What's in Rusty's
Rusty's
Mind."
Yeah.
What's in Rusty's
All
brain?
right. So way too much stuff to talk about. That's a thing. That's awesome. Valve leaked information about their new headset, their VR headset called the Index, which is coming out with the knuckle controllers. And yeah, something like May 1st is when the actual announcement's going to be. That's rad. I saw the movie Us. It rules. I'm not going to spoil anything. Spider-Verse. The Spider-Man animated movie, finally watched that as well. That movie also rules. Probably my favorite animated movie of all time. And then Risk of Rain 2 just came out in early access like 3 days ago, featuring our one and only, I always butcher his name, Chris Christodoulou, a Soundrop artist. He did Risk of Rain's first soundtrack, and he also did the second soundtrack. It really makes the game. You definitely check it out.
Nice.
It's $20. Again, early access. They took it from 2D to 3D, and it's a welcome change. I was really nervous, but it's such a blast to play, and you can play multiplayer.
That's the only kind of thing Rusty gets nervous about.
Fun fact, Chris and I lived in the same neighborhood in 2011 and didn't even know each other.
There you go.
Dun, dun, dun. Okay.
All right.
Anyway, it is in a foreign country to me.
Yeah.
It's in Greece.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, and that's what was on my mind.
All right. Cool. Oh, man, Rusty's mind is full. All right. So now we're going to do the segment where we, first of all, the background. We obviously specialize in distributing cover songs. And one music segment that records a lot of cover songs is college a cappella groups. The funny thing about college a cappella groups is that they have hilarious names, which I like to refer to as punny. And I think they do this because they know they only have to live with the name for a few years. So they create something wild, and then they make every class after them for the foreseeable future live with this ridiculous name. So as we find them and identify them and find them particularly funny, Rebecca and I set them aside, and then once a month we pick the best one or the punniest one, and we show it to Rusty. So you're all seeing this for the first time along with Rusty, and we're going to get Rusty's reaction. So first, let's show the name. Rusty, don't look. Damn it. Is it upside down? That's up. I know. All right. This is the name.
Are we
You
ready?
got it?
Okay, everyone got it? All right, let's.
Show it to Rusty.
You pen Quaker notes?
They're the University of Pennsylvania
Quaker
Notes.
Part of this
Get it?
complete breakfast.
Like Quaker Oats, but it's Quaker Notes because they're from Pennsylvania. They're Quakers. Quaker Notes, Rusty.
Okay.
All right, I don't think that
Oh.
amuses anybody except for Rebecca and
I
I.
just-
But you know what? That's
Wow.
enough for me.
That was a good one.
That's-
Please, everyone in the chat.
I've never not gotten something
Appreciate
so
that.
bad.
The
That's
Quaker Notes.
That's amazing.
All right, all right. We're almost out of here, guys.
We do have.
We got another. We're gonna do
We have
another
another
live
minute.
stream. Oh, I didn't write it down.
Oh,
Do we have the date?
we got to do a wrestling minute.
Yeah, we have a wrestling minute.
We have
Just
1 minute for wrestling.
All right. So here's the deal with the wrestling minute. I'm a wrestling nerd. Professional wrestling. I love it. I've always loved it. And if there's one thing wrestling nerds love to do, it's complain about wrestling on the internet. So I'm about to complain about wrestling on the internet because I've got my forum and nobody can stop me. But because the wrestling minute is just so uncomfortable for everybody else because nobody else cares about wrestling except for me, which is originally why it was relegated to a single minute. But now we need to make it even more uncomfortable for me. So Rusty and Rebecca have figured out some way to make me uncomfortable while I do my uncomfortable wrestling minute. And I have no idea what this even is. They handed me some headphones.
So
I'm assuming I have to wear these and it's going
Yes.
to play some horrible sound while I'm trying to talk.
Correct. So if you remember last month,
Some horrible sound.
we had you eat spicy chips. And then
Those were good,
yeah,
but that
and
was kind of
and it made your
uncomfortable.
brain tingle. Now we're gonna make your ears tingle, specifically with the last 6 wrestling minutes, all played simultaneously.
Oh,
Are you ready?
Are you ready? Gotta put the headphones on.
it's going to sound like I'm having
A stroke.
stroke.
Yeah, a stroke of genius.
Yeah.
No, it's not going to sound like that.
You ready?
This is nuts.
I know.
I'm not ready for this. I barely even know what I'm going to say.
You're ready. Put them on.
Yeah.
Go.
Wait. Stop. I couldn't even hear when I'm supposed to start.
Here, put them on, and
I'll put them all the way on.
I'll give you a countdown.
Okay.
Okay, ready?
and go.
Go.
All right, everybody has heard by now that the main event of WrestleMania 35 is going to be this women's match, and they're really promoting this heavily, that it's the women's match, and it's like some historical moment. But really, this is just a publicity stunt. It's only because Ronda Rousey is in the main event. She's like a mainstream star. So, like, if you actually are a wrestling fan and you look into the card, only 2 or 3 of the 15 friggin' matches on WrestleMania are women's matches. The storyline going into these matches has been super bad. And the storylines have basically all involved the McMahons having to make the women obsequious to them in some way or another. Yeah, that's right. I use the word obsequious even while it sounds like insane in my head right now. But basically, it's all about making the women apologize, making them turn over the title, adding women to the match that were just because the McMahons said,
And
oh my
Finish your thought.
God, I can't. I don't have a thought. I'll just say I'll be impressed when they actually dedicate equal time to the women's wrestling on the show as opposed to just promoting some match that has a mainstream star and acting like they just changed history. Is changing history even a term? I feel crazy. We'll be back on April 29th.
Yes, we will. Make sure to follow us.
Yes.
Everywhere. Where are we?
That was insane. At Soundrop on Twitter, at Soundrop Distro on Instagram, Facebook, you know how to find us. YouTube is just /Soundrop. And we'll see you on April 29th, Monday,
Yeah.
6 p.m. PST. Bye, guys. Sorry we went so long.
And hope you had a wonderful time.